Welcome to Ella's Beefeaster's Radio Aircheck and Classic TV channel.
WPLJ FM and HD1, New York, a Cumulus station.
It's 95.5 PLJ Reunion Day. Bringing back all your favorite DJs from the past 48 years.
WPLJ, New York, New York.
All day long, we're welcoming back your favorite PLJ DJs.
It's 95.5 PLJ Reunion Day.
Hi, this is Blaine Ensley, former cast member of The Rocky Allen Show. First of all, thank you to every listener of 95.5 PLJ. It was an honor and a privilege to talk to you on your drive home. Always had a great time. A couple of my favorite memories from being on PLJ. I got to hang out. This is Blaine. I got to hang out for 90 minutes with Paul McCartney. I sat right next to him. We had a conversation. I'm sure he's just as excited as I am for this memory. You know, he got to sit next to me for 90 minutes. You know, and I mean, I was on PLJ. He was just a Beatle. So I think that's kind of equal. Speaking of the Beatles, another one of my very favorite stories and memories. I'm at the Ed Sullivan Theater. We're doing a Rocky Allen Showgram anniversary show. I'm downstairs. It's like an hour or two before the show's ready to start. I'm down in like a green room area, enjoying a sandwich and watching the O.J. Simpson trial. I'm sitting there just by myself. Next thing I know, in walks a musical group. The musical group sits down and we watch the O.J. Simpson trial together. The musical group is the Village People, and they are in full costume. And we're all sitting there on like these three big couches. We're having sandwiches together. Me, the construction worker, the cop, the Indian chief, all of them. We're sitting there eating sandwiches and watching the O.J. Simpson trial. Both of those memories of mine could only happen at a monstrous radio station like 95.5 PLJ. I couldn't believe it. I still can't believe it. I can't believe that it was me sitting there, Paul McCartney, and me hanging out discussing legal issues with the Village People. Again, thank you all for listening to 95.5 PLJ. It was a riot.
Follow along on social media and join the conversation. Hashtag PLJ Memories. More Reunion Day next on 95.5 PLJ.
Yeah. Thank you, Blaine.
Awesome.
That is unbelievable. We have got a couple old CDs in here and a player that works. We're going to find something from the Rocky Allen Showgram to share in just a couple minutes because that show was such a huge part of the success of this radio station. And though I'm going to save much of my goodbye and my stories for tomorrow, nothing was more difficult than coming to this city and being the person who's going to be on after the Rocky Allen Showgram.
Yeah.
I got months of hate and where's Rocky and bring Blaine back and this is not the same show. Can you do a phone call? And it wasn't. And it wasn't what I did, and nor was I ever going to even try to do the comedy and the things that they did on this radio station. But it is so great to hear their voices, and we're going to play something more from them in just a couple minutes. It's our reunion day, and we've got a full house. Dave Stewart is here with a story.
This is how I'm going to wrap up my time. My first wake-up call to the power of this radio station came when I was first hired. Before I was doing the full-time overnight, I would do a lot of swing shifts, and I was filling in midday one day, still unaware that there are celebrities walking through here all the time. And my studio door opens. James Earl Jones looks at me, look to the left, look to the right, determines I'm not the person he's looking for, closes the door, doesn't say a word. And I'm dumbfounded like somebody hit me in the head with a baseball bat. Darth Vader just walked in the room.
That is amazing.
Did not utter a sound and left. And to this day, I've never met James Earl Jones. That was it.
That's incredible.
Talk about feeling cheated. Story. But it really said, this is the kind of radio station you work for now.
Yeah.
It's surreal.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to check the ride and be right back. Give us 60 seconds on PLJ.
95.5 PLJ.
Right now, bringing back your favorite DJs that made PLJ great. This is 95.5 PLJ Reunion Day.
This is Bill. May I help you?
Hey, Bill, how are you?
I'm fine.
Your service, Bill?
Yes, this is service.
Hey, okay, good, Bill. My name is Richard. The problem I have here is I'm house sitting for my parents.
Yes.
They've gone to Europe for the biggest part of the summer. And I have complete and full use of the facilities here at the homestead.
Mm-hmm.
They have the spa, what you call your hot tub, I guess?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm sitting in there, as you can hear. I have a bit of a problem. One of my inflatables has become lodged here.
What became lodged, sir?
One of my inflatables.
Your inflatables.
Right.
What are you referring to?
Well, I have some blow-up items.
Such as what, sir?
Well, just, your basic... Do we have to get into details? Just blow-up items.
Okay.
That I like to have in the hot tub with me.
Okay.
And one of them is kind of... It's not the jet. What is that, the suck thing that pulls the water through?
You're referring to the filter?
Yeah, okay. That's the thing.
Okay.
Now, what has happened is a portion of the inflatable has become stuck in there.
Okay.
It's like the toe part.
Uh-huh. What's that noise I hear?
That's it. That's the inflatable. Vinyl Valerie is what I like to call it.
Valerie is the inflatable?
It's the inflatable, yes.
Well, what you might want to do is just did you shut the power off?
Oh, yeah, as you can tell, you can hear complete silence surrounding me, my friend Bill.
And you can't pull that out of there, huh?
I've tried, somehow, it looks like the number 2 toe has...
I'm not laughing at you, but the way you get the number 2 toe is...
Right, not your big knobby toe, it's the second one in. The second little piggy is kind of sucked in there, and I'm afraid if I yank Valerie out, it'll tear, and I've grown quite fond of her. Don't you laughing at me, Bill?
No, I'm not laughing at you, believe me.
Should I pop it, Bill?
Well, yeah. If number 2 toe's stuck, I'd pop it. Did you pop it?
Yeah.
Is it coming out? Is it coming out now?
No. Well, something's coming out.
What came out?
Yeah, well, I can't really describe it.
I'm not laughing at you, sir. Believe me.
No, it's okay, Bill.
What actually came out?
Well, here's the thing, Bill.
Okay.
Maybe I can. I'm thinking maybe I should tell you a song.
Say what, sir?
Maybe I should just a part of me. You know what I'm saying, Bill?
Right.
And
but you popped Valerie.
Yes.
And the toe's still stuck.
Yes, sir. It is still sucked in there.
Number 2.
It's the
not the big knobby one.
It's the second little piggy.
The second little piggy.
Right.
And you can't get it out.
No. I can't.
Would you like me to dispatch a technician?
Does he have to be fully dressed?
Oh, you mean the technician?
Right.
Well, would you prefer him not to be?
No, I'm not.
You're not.
Tonight on the ABC After School Special, I Saw Grandma.
Fluorescent blue eyeshadow and hot pink lipstick? Perfect. Here's one straight from the 80s on 95.5 PLJ. It's 95.5 PLJ Reunion Day.
Yeah. I'm Race Taylor. Thank you so much for listening. Joey Kramer is right here. Mike Allen has an announcement in a minute. Dan Kelly, who's put together all of this imaging, is in the house.
Hey.
But while we are in Rocky Allen Showgram mode, we heard from Blaine. We just heard an amazing call, and I believe this should be Tina Lang, ready to go right to you.
Yes. You talk about Rocky, and we've got to say so many great things about the Showgram.
Yes.
So many people just lived for it on a daily basis. and I was lucky enough to be part of it for a really long time.
Oh man, I've fallen into the YouTube wormhole of old PLJ videos and audio, and I happened across one of the very first live from the Ed Sullivan Theater shows.
Fantastic.
You were introduced. You were part of that. Just tell us a story. Give us something behind the scenes that we might not know.
First of all, doing any kind of show or anything with Rocky was totally different than any other radio show. Even one of our trips to Disney, their contests were, some of the PLJ contests were a lot of fun and gimmicky, but I mean, he's the only one who would do show me your belly and you'll get some jelly. I'm like, what? And there are people literally opening their shirts. And I'm like, no, I don't want to see that. And it was hysterical stuff. They were real people. Rocky and Blaine were just the best people. I got to spend every holiday. And I even went into labor on the air because Rocky wanted to hear some quote discomfort. He called me in the hospital
Show
to
us
make
your
sure.
belly.
No, those had too many stretch marks. But anyway, it was a wonderful family. I mean, you had Onions, Al. We had the best producer. Al was fantastic. Yeah. You had Harry, you had Kavork. We were all family. We were together all the time.
Yeah, and it was a completely different era of radio where you could do long form comedy outside of Morning Drive. And the world embraced it.
Oh, it was a morning show in the afternoon. I mean, I would come in. My day didn't start until I had Rocky and his news, although it was a little skewed and different kind of news that he would bring to his show.
Sure.
But I got the information of the day after 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was fun. It was just all fun.
Oh, man. That is so great. Thank you so much for being part of our show. I know you have 1 million traffic reports to do between now and the next 10 minutes.
Still doing all that, exactly.
And by the way, can we just say we reached out to Rocky for this special, and he is traveling. He wanted to be here. He wanted to phone in, and it just wasn't going to jive with his schedule. But he wishes everyone the best, and he loves all the listeners, and he just wanted to send some good well wishes. So.
Good man, that's for sure.
Yep.
And if that is one thing that we would like to make sure comes across, and we hope that we don't have to say it, but man, we just have nothing but love for everybody who has been in this studio and breathed air into these microphones. There have been people who have said, oh, you didn't mention so-and-so in this press blurb, or you didn't mention this person when you did this quick interview. It's almost impossible in a very short period of time to mention everybody who has walked through this door and turned on a microphone here on the 17th floor at 2 Penn Plaza. But we have nothing but love for everybody who has taken a time in their life to build this radio station.
Yeah, certainly.
All right. So our reunion day continues. Thank you, Tina. Mike Allen, you're going to cover some things after 7 o'clock. Tell me.
Well, I hope this goes on. I mean, I hope this goes on forever. I don't want this place to close. But we are going on live till midnight, and we'll have the phone lines open, I think, this time. Obviously, a lot of the alumni won't be on past a certain time, but obviously if you're listening to this, you are alumni and you want to come on after 7 o'clock, we welcome you. We do have people on until about 9:30, but I think at 9:30 what we're going to do is we're going to open up the phone lines. I see a lot of text messages. I do see the phone lines ringing, and I am apologizing to everybody for not picking up the phones right away. There is a lot of activity happening in these studios.
A little busy today.
So I'm going to, hopefully Race will stick around if we could stretch him thin all the way till midnight, and Joey Kramer. What we're going to do is we're going to open up the phone lines. We want to hear some of your stories. Maybe you have a story about one of the alumni, one of the DJs you heard today that just didn't make it on air. No, there were some legendary people on here. So everybody, if you're a big 95.5 PLJ listener, has a story about their favorite DJs. So on the alumni after show, we'll call it, we want to hear your stories too, because just like the alumni and the DJs who walked through these hallways and opened up these microphones, the listeners were absolutely a giant part of the success of this radio station.
Absolutely. Today has had a lot of polish on it, a lot of imaging, a lot of song clips. Over the course of the past couple weeks, you've heard snippets of DJs who have been on the air from decades ago to just a few months ago, and the man that poured over all of that is Dan Kelly, who is in the studio right now.
Don't make it sound like I did it all myself. I mean, come on.
You did most of it yourself.
But still,
Don't lie. Don't lie.
All right.
We've seen some of the videos and some of the imaging, and I want your story because I met you first at the back of the China Club. I'm trying to remember who was on stage.
See, I don't even remember that. I don't remember meeting you at the China Club.
That's still where I meet him every.
It's like,
looking
here's
for the
Dan.
drink tickets.
He's going to be the new imaging director.
Yeah.
I'm from Philly. Oh, hi.
Yeah. Well, I
Security.
mean, for me, getting a chance to work here is dream come true. I mean, I'm from Rockland County, born in Queens, Kew Gardens. We lived in till I was 2. And then, I mean, this was the station that I wanted to work at my whole life, you know? So for me to be able to get to work here is just, it's not real. It doesn't feel real that I got to work here, and it still doesn't even feel real what's happening. So just amazing. I love all you guys.
You know, Dan has been speaking about being on the air one more time. He said he was on the air here, I don't know, how many years ago? 15 years ago?
I did 2 hours on the air in 2002 and then another 2 hours in 2004.
So I think I've changed my mind. I'm canceling the listener takeover after 7 o'clock. Dan Kelly is going to be live.
It's been too long. I can't. I'll just do the top of the hour.
To, but I can't.
Yeah, really.
But maybe I will.
I've got to get in a Flyers fan club chat room. I can't really join you for this right now.
All true.
All right, listen, we're going to check the ride in 3 minutes. This is 95.5 PLJ.
Power 95 plays hit after hit after hit after hit after hit after hit after hit with another nonstop music power play. Power 95.
It is reunion day on 95.5 PLJ. We cannot thank you enough for all the text messages that are coming in at 95955. We only wish that we had the time to respond to each and every one of these, because your connection to this radio station is heartwarming, and even through heartbreak. For instance, I'm crying 1 minute because of the 9/11 audio you played, and then the next minute I'm laughing hysterically at the phone call with Rocky. Thank you for all the memories. Best wishes, one and all, from Tammy. That's just one of many, and we can't get to all of them. But you can also follow us on social, Twitter, Insta, and Facebook. I'm Race Taylor. Joey Kramer is here.
Hello.
Brooklyn Phil is in the house. And can we bring Alina up here? Alina, are you the last PLJ disc jockey hire? Is that the story I'm hearing right now? Bring it down.
So I don't think I'm officially the last, but I'm like the second to last.
Yeah. Wow.
And I've spent more time trying to get in here than I actually spent working here, but it was all worth it, every single second of it. And you guys are amazing. And I just want all of the listeners to really know that coming in here as a new person, you guys have been the best. Just the most welcoming group, the most helpful. I've picked your guys' brain and asked a ton of questions, and it's been amazing. And then the listeners, my last show was on Sunday, and I got several calls, and everybody was asking, but what are you guys going to do now? Where are you going to go? Like, they are genuinely concerned about us. So just means so much, just this whole place and this whole experience.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you, guys.
We're so happy that you're part of the family. Mike, what's happening?
So I just ran down the hall because I heard Alina say that. She literally did try to get here longer. So this is going to be a public apology in front of everybody here. What had happened was, you see, I got put into a hiring freeze as I tried to hire her in December of 2018.
Yes.
December of 18.
Yes.
I had the paperwork filled out. Everything was faxed. I got the okay to hire her. The next day they said, hang on, no more hiring for a second.
But I originally sent a demo in December of 2014.
I was not here.
You were not here. No, you weren't.
I was here, but I wasn't in charge of hiring anybody,
No.
so you could point fingers elsewhere.
No, not your fault. And then I came in October of 2015 and kept in touch ever since, and it was all worth it.
Well, thank you for everything. I'm sorry for the
Thank
wait.
you.
But we're glad you were a part of it.
It all worked out.
This has all been recorded, by the way.
That's
so
right.
We
Perfectly
have your
fine.
apology. This is fantastic.
We're not recording it, but a guy with a computer
Yeah, somebody's
somewhere in Brooklyn
recording
is
it.
recording it right now.
I'll find it online later.
And we love that guy. We love that guy. Utopia, step up to the microphone.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being part of the PLJ family.
This is my whole life, like coming on after Mike, just like tippy
Lowering the
toeing.
microphone,
Yeah,
right?
thank you, Dan.
How are you today?
Very emotional because I'm just filled with so much gratitude. As a little girl growing up in Brooklyn, me working here was nothing I could even imagine or even fathom for myself. And I'm just so grateful to everyone in this room, even if we worked with each other for less than a year. Me and Alina
Yep.
are like girls now.
Love her.
I appreciate you
The
for
best.
that. Joey Kramer, big brother forever in a day.
Yeah.
Like, just the littlest things that Joey does. He leaves me these amazing letters. Even if nothing is going on, he just leaves the letters. He sets up my Vox Pro. He just makes life so much easier for me, and I truly appreciate you, Joey.
He does what the jock before you is supposed to do.
Well, you guys are men.
That's
So
how
this
we
is
were
the
raised
first
here,
time,
yeah.
I've been in this industry for about 15 years, and this is the first time I've ever worked somewhere where everyone took care of me. And there's a lot of dudes who work here. And you guys all took care of me. Mike has been my personal life coach. Race has been an incredible mentor and friend.
Thank you.
Dave has been someone who I've only worked with for less than a year, but who has given me so much confidence that I just really appreciate you, Dave. I really do. From the moment I met you, you were so kind. He gave me all these compliments, and then he hit me with what I needed to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first time any PD did that. Usually it's the bad stuff first. And then the compliments if they have time. Dan Kelly is amazing. Even though he yelled at me one time, we hung out because you were so frustrated with me because I have opportunities, but you were just telling me, don't limit yourself.
Yeah.
And even though I wanted to cry, I felt empowered. So thank you. Tony, is Tony here?
Tony, step on up to the microphone.
I did my audition with Tony. Tony is like the OG. Like, Bill Ayers is the OG, but Tony Roma is the OG. You got me through my audition. I was a hot mess and a half. Like, so nervous. I'll never forget that. And because John Fox was not trying to hire me, but Gillette was like, this girl is amazing, give her a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And Tony just helped me get through my audition, and I never said thank you. I just want to say thank you now.
You sure have.
I have. I feel like I want the world to hear it. Thank you, Tony. You are everything. And like I said, I'm just so grateful to be a part of the station's legacy. As an African American female from Brooklyn, I'm very proud that you guys gave me a chance here. I'm going to start crying. I've been crying all day. You guys don't know.
We love you.
I know, but I'm just so grateful that you guys look beyond everything and just embrace me as a talent. And I'm truly grateful for that. So thank you guys.
Totally
deserve it.
Absolutely. We have so much more to get to. I don't know if you remember a guy named Brooklyn Phil. Brooklyn Phil used to join the show for a variety of different contests. He'll join us next. We've got more surprises, more friends. It's a trip through your past now on PLJ.
Bringing back your favorite DJs that made PLJ great. This is 95.5 PLJ Reunion Day.
Yeah, it's Race Taylor with Joey Kramer and a voice you've heard before in the afternoon, and it may have been a while. Brooklyn Phil is in the house, and let me explain the story behind Brooklyn Phil. Phil works a number of different jobs at the radio station, but mostly it's production. Every commercial that has played here in the last how many years?
20.
In the last 20 years has probably been put in the system by Phil, unless, of course, he was on vacation and then Joey did it or Dan did it or something like that.
Frankie Bruno.
That's right. Love Frank Bruno,
Right.
the man who's responsible for getting the message of the advertisers onto the radio station so we could make money and stay in business, is in the house.
Welcome, Phil.
Hey, should I use my radio voice? Or
Yes, please do.
Or should I use my childhood Brooklyn Phil voice? Hey, yo, hey.
But see, we call Brooklyn Phil because he's got the accent, even though he lives far into Pennsylvania. And I don't know how you do that commute on a regular basis.
Well, I live on a production guy's salary, and so the further west you go, the more you could afford.
That's
And
right.
that's the
So
way it
Phil
goes.
has a sprawling mansion just on the other side of East Stroudsburg.
Yes.
But on crazy nights, more often than not, when he's working and loading spots until well into 9 or 10 o'clock, he'd have an apartment in Brooklyn, and the name Brooklyn Phil just became natural for all the contests that we would do with, what would it be, song lyrics?
And
Sure.
I think we did some jingle, we sang some jingles.
You did sing some jingles.
Yes,
for me.
we did. It was.
And I want to say that maybe you and Tony Mascaro at one point in time, and it might have been Matt Susich as well, acted out some Seinfeld or some other scenes.
Remember that?
It was the world's most terrible acting.
Yeah, but it was great.
And
was
people
so
would have
good.
to figure out what movie or what show that was
man.
from, and
Right.
that was fantastic.
We had a ball. We really did.
We need your story, Phil. A
My
little
story.
something from behind. A little. How'd you get here?
Ooh. Well,
where did you start?
I am a kid from Brooklyn,
Yeah.
and I've been listening to PLJ since when all those rock jocks were in here. I remember all them, and that kind of music kind of molded my life, and I'm as a musician too, Race.
Yeah.
I play that kind of stuff, and I started my career in a small syndication company, and if you don't know what that is, it's it's not important, right? But anyhow, I got the call to come work here, and it was like a dream come true, 20 years ago. I made 20 years in this business at one place. That's pretty amazing,
That's a career.
It's a career.
Anyone could say you're done, and you have really no reason to complain.
Right.
Because that is an amazing run.
And
I know that story.
And the things that are important to me is not just the career; it's the life that happened in those 20 years. And when I think back along those 20 years, it's the good times, it's the bad times, and it's the family and the people that I've met here, that have always had my back, and it's just an amazing thing. Some really great people have come through this place, and I'm really grateful for that.
It really has. And they are not just people who have been behind a microphone. They have been the people who have been behind computer monitors.
Yes.
People who have been behind steering wheels, people who are behind notebooks and clipboards and phone calls and spreadsheets, and they were all part of the history of this radio
And so much love. This place was like a family. It really was. And in fact, Mitch Dolan was on earlier. He was our old boss, and he sat me down in his office when I first started working here. I was all nervous and sweating and having an anxiety attack that I'm in the corner office, And he was like, what's the problem, dude? I was like, dude, I'm nervous. You're the boss. And he's like, I wouldn't have you here at this place if I wouldn't have you in my home. And that's,
oh, my gosh.
Yes. Wow. And then just the history of Tom, Cuddy, and Scott Shannon and all the jocks that have been through here. It's so much love. I'll never remember the love.
I remember every Christmas party, aside from the amazing Dolan act, which would be very Carson-esque and a treat for anyone inside that room to see. The biggest thing that Mitch would always say is the radio station has towers and CDs and music, but it's really the people
that
the
make
people.
It work. And I'm going to tell a little story now, too. My wife is a breast cancer survivor, and when she got that diagnosis, it was a real tough time in our lives. And Race is a real humble guy, and he probably doesn't want me to tell this story, but he's one of the first guys who came up to me, hugged me, and said a prayer for me, and handed me a $100 gift card saying, you might not be able to cook every night now. Go buy something for you and your family, Yeah. And that's the kind of guy Race is. He's a humble giver, a caring man, and Joey too, and I'm glad to have you guys in the history of my life.
Thank you, Phil.
Jeez, Phil.
Yeah.
Well, how the hell are we supposed to follow that up?
Right. We've grown up, slowly but surely. We were maybe not quite as young as our friends from Q1043 when they were here.
Sure.
But we were here, and we've grown, and we've been happy to have you along for the ride. Love you, Phil.
Love you guys.
Thanks for coming in today.
WPLJ FM and HD1, New York, a Q station.
It's 95.5 PLJ Reunion Day. Bringing back all your favorite DJs from the past 48 years.
WPLJ